electrifying conversation. Now, before I get straight into today's program, it is important that you follow us on all our social media platforms. What am I talking about? At MMM underscore NG234. I'm going to say that again at MMM underscore NG234. We are going to be responding to all your messages, your contributions, your observations, whatever question you have. Yes, you are free to reach out to us and we are going to answer you. So now, stay tuned. Don't touch now. The motivation party is about to start.
I feel blessed. I feel blessed. Could have been worse. I feel blessed. I feel blessed. I feel blessed. Could have been worse. I feel blessed. I feel blessed. I feel blessed. Could have been worse. I feel blessed. I feel blessed. I feel blessed. Could have been worse.
You're still watching and listening to Message Music for Motivation on Champion 90.7 FM. I remain yours sincerely, DOYIN KUKOYIN. Now, today, July 28th, is World Hepatitis Day. This year's theme, It's Time for Action, emphasizes the urgent need to eliminate hepatitis. Let's work together to raise awareness, promote prevention, and ensure access to diagnosis and treatment. Hepatitis affects millions worldwide, but with collective effort, we can make a difference. From vaccination to screening, there are ways to combat this disease. Let's take action and bring hepatitis care closer to communities. Together, we can create a future where hepatitis no longer poses a threat to global health. It's time for action. Let's unite for a hepatitis-free world. Joining me on the program this evening to sensitize you on everything you need to know about hepatitis is Dr. Hussein Abrazak, Lagos State Viral Hepatitis Control Program Manager. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you so very much for joining us, sir.
Thank you. Yeah.
Eliminate hepatitis, elevate health. It's time for action against hepatitis. Know hepatitis, know your status, know your health. That is our first quote for today. We're going to go straight into this, sir. What exactly is hepatitis and how does it affect the liver?
Well, hepatitis, simply put, is inflammation of the liver. Inflammation is what I might need to explain. Inflammation is simply the body's reaction to anything that it seems as not being part of it. So it's like to recognize that this is something that is not me, and so it tries to fight against it. So that's basically inflammation. So when it affects the liver, we call it hepatitis.
We call it hepatitis. Okay, so what are the main types of hepatitis? The viruses.
Okay, so hepatitis. There are many causes of hepatitis.
Okay.
From viruses to alcohol, to toxins. Even sometimes the body begins to like unrecognize itself and begins to attack itself. What we call autoimmune reactions. So there are very many causes of hepatitis. But the one that concerns us most is the one caused by viruses. Viruses are a type of organism that cause disease in us.
Okay.
So there are 5 types of viral hepatitis viruses that we have identified, and they are simply named A, B, C, D, and E. So there's hepatitis A, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, hepatitis D, and hepatitis E.
Okay.
So there are just 5 of them that we recognize as viral hepatitis.
Okay, so how is it transmitted?
Okay, so we said there are 5 types of them, A, B, C, D, E. We divide them broadly into 2. A and E are transmitted the same way, that's from person to person the same way, while B, C, and D are also the same way. So A and E are what we call through the fecal-oral route. Fecal simply means feces, human feces, and oral means mouth.
Okay.
So when there's feces that is contaminated that contains any of the A or E virus, and somebody eats it, either through water or food, that is how it is transmitted. So basically, that is about hygiene. So once a feces that is contaminated that is A or E gets into your food or your water, you can get it transmitted. While B, C, and D are mainly through the blood, exchange of blood fluids. So body fluids, blood fluids. We're talking about you're sharing objects. We're talking about blood transmission. We're talking about using sharps. Barber, clipper, and all that. That the things that you already know as things that can cause you to from blood or body to get from one person to another. If it contains B, C, or D, that person can get hepatitis B, C, or D. So it's mainly through importantly also from mother to child. If you like, everybody knows about HIV now. Those ways that HIV is transmitted are also similar to the way that B, C, and D are transmitted.
Okay. Okay, so what are the symptoms of acute and chronic hepatitis? Okay,
so we have the acute hepatitis simply means that it is short term, like immediate, while chronic means it's lasting for a long time. So in the short term, mainly it's like what I would like commonly for an environment, what I would call like malaria symptoms. You are having fever, you are having body weakness. Excuse me.
Yes.
The person gets easily tired.
Okay.
Urine can become very dark when you have hepatitis, and nausea, that is, you feel like vomiting, and actual vomiting can happen. Joint pains, and those kind of general kind of illnesses, and they're particularly for hepatitis because it is the liver. The liver is responsible for managing our bile. When it's not able to do that very well, you have yellowness of the skin, yellowness of the eyes. Like yellow fever, which what we call jaundice medically.
Yes.
The eyes can become yellow, the skin becomes yellow. Then you see that usually you must think of a liver disease. So in the acute stage you have this, but the chronic ones usually the person does not even know he has anything wrong with him. One of the challenges with hepatitis in particular, the person is sick, the liver is damaged silently, but the person does not have any symptoms, does not know he's sick. So, and then until it gets to a stage where the liver is compromised, and then you begin to have chronic effects on the liver. I think we'll come back to that later.
Yes, we will. We're still talking with Dr. Hussein Abdulrazak. Yes, we're talking about hepatitis. Today is World Hepatitis Day. We want to learn everything we need to know about this. Okay, so you can also be a part of this discussion by calling on 090-620-23907, 090-620-23907, 090-620-24907, 090-620-24907. Do you have any question? We have the right person to answer all of these questions on today's program. So do well by calling us. Now, back to you, doctor. How can hepatitis B and C be prevented?
Okay. Like I said, because it's been going on for a long time.
Yes.
The things that we do to prevent HIV also works for hepatitis B and C. Yeah, you want to avoid exchange or use of sharp.
Objects.
Somebody has used a needle, the syringe. You don't want another person to use it. So you don't want to share sharp objects. Okay. Blood transfusion. Blood must be screened before you give anybody the blood. It must be screened for a lot of diseases, including hepatitis, hepatitis B and C. Okay. Pregnant women we always screen them. It's part of the work of when a woman comes as a pregnant for the first time. We are going to check, does she have hepatitis or not? And then, of course, part of that is for us to counsel her, and if she does not have, we counsel her. If she has, we begin to take steps to manage so that when that is having a baby, the baby does not get infected. That step that we take in that. And then, okay, of course, the big one is also to practice safe sex. We need to ensure that unprotected sex is avoided in order to avoid viral hepatitis, particularly B and C. I need to mention that hepatitis D is also transmitted similarly, but we often don't talk about D because we know that if you don't have hepatitis B, D cannot cause disease. So that's why we talk about B and C in particular. D is transmitted similarly, but unless you have hepatitis B, D cannot cause disease.
Okay. But C can.
Yes, C can cause. B and C can cause. In fact, they are the two main ones that we are concerned about because they are the ones that cause chronic disease. A and E are not known to cause chronic disease. So it is B and C, and it's that chronic disease that actually leads to the damages to the liver that can eventually lead to death. So that's why by the time we talk about viral hepatitis, we tend to come to focus on B and C in particular. They are the ones that cause chronic, that long-lasting infection that will lead to damage to the liver.
Okay, now, is it true that hepatitis C is really difficult to treat?
No, that is definitely not true.
Okay.
In fact, hepatitis C is the one that is curable.
Curable.
It is curable. So we have treatment for it, and that person can be cured. It takes some time, about 3 months treatment, but that person can be cured if is well managed. So it has a cure. Hepatitis B does not have a cure.
B does not, but C does have.
C has. You can treat C, and that person is completely cured.
Okay. Okay, let's well, like I said at the beginning of the program, we know that today, the 28th of July, is World Hepatitis Day. So what is the significance of World Hepatitis Day?
Okay, just before I go into that, I need to correct a bit. The theme, the World Health Organization theme for this year's World Hepatitis Day is hepatitis, let's break it down.
Hepatitis, let's break it down.
Let's break it down. In other words, let's look at all the issues around hepatitis and tackle them. Why is it still such a big problem? What are the issues? Why this, why that? So let's break it down and actually talk about it.
Okay.
And further is to say that, which some that Lagos is aligning with, the national program in Nigeria has extended it beyond this just today to say 365 days, let's break it down, constituency by constituency. So for the next 365 days, that's for the next 1 year, we're going to have programs in each federal constituency. Lagos has 24 of them. So each federal constituency is we are going to have one of these days in the next 1 year to work on viral hepatitis in that constituency. So in 365 days, let's break it down constituency by constituency. This is the kind of outlook we are looking at. So it's not just about today. Fine, the commemoration day is to bring attention, particular attention. Today, all over the world, the viral hepatitis is being commemorated. In other words, we are breaking it down all over the world today. What the issues that need to be addressed, how we're going to be addressing them, we are bringing it out for everybody to understand and appreciate that this is a problem that has a solution. So let's get our act together and get that solution done. We can overcome viral hepatitis. We know that. So we want people to know this. We want people to know what to do about it. We want people to take action to get rid of viral hepatitis. It is one of the diseases that has been slated by the World Health Organization for elimination by 2030. That's just in 5 years' time. And we can if we put our hands together.
So what are the plans, Nigeria, because it's a world events. What plans do you have in place to sanitize, to talk about this to the people? Apart from, you saying that for the whole next 1 year, you have this and that to do. What exactly have you, like today, for example? What are the things you've done so far?
Okay. Well, I'm very sure that all over the country activities are going on. We are seeing, because we have platforms, we are seeing what people are doing here and there all over the country. Well, particularly for Lagos State, which I can speak for, I have a press statement out today and talking about what we have been doing and what we are going to be doing.
Yes.
For our own commemorations, like I said, it's not just one day for us.
Yes.
We are going to be continuing these activities. So we are having media appearances. Okay. We want to reach almost as many of TV and radio stations or whatever that we can get to. Social media, we are going to be seeing us campaigning and talking about viral hepatitis, and it's going to be continuous. We are going to be airing jingles on radio and television, at least for the next 10 weeks. So we are going to be, people are going to be hearing messages and seeing in them. On a smaller scale for now, funding permits will extend it even further. We're going to be doing screening and vaccination for hepatitis B and C, screening for B and C, and vaccination for hepatitis B. Already, every pregnant woman in Lagos State that comes for booking is tested for hepatitis B and C. All babies that are born are provided for. They are to get hepatitis B vaccine once within 24 hours of birth. And one of the things we plan to do is to first, we are going to have a stakeholders meeting later in the year as part of our activities, where we are going to be discussing this information. Every newborn baby in Lagos State should get vaccinated for hepatitis B with the first 24 hours of birth. So we're going to be looking at all the issues around that, breaking it down. We're going to be looking at all the issues surrounding this and ensuring that we put in measures to make sure that every baby born in Lagos gets vaccinated for hepatitis B within the first year, within the first 24 hours of birth. So it's for us, not just about today. So it's a continuous thing for us to ensure that we're looking at that goal. 2030, we want to eliminate viral hepatitis. And we are chasing it as much as possible.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes, it's still with Doyin Kukoyin coming to you live from Champion 90.7 FM. We're going to go on break right now. When we come back, yes, we will continue with Dr. Abdulrazak. Yes, it's World Hepatitis Day today, and that is what we are talking about.
With a veteran media personality and seasoned actress Doyin Kukoyin on Champion FM 90.7 every Monday, Wednesday and Friday 6 p.m. for your perfect blend of inspiring messages, electrifying conversations from a seasoned guest, infectious beats and music from loaded playlist. Music for motivation. Where motivation meets inspiration every single time. Join eloquent Doyin Kukoyin on this program every Monday, Wednesday and Friday 6 p.m. on Champion FM 90.7. You can show that will ignite your life in a positive way. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok at _234 to win some support. Fantastic rewards. This program is a production of Force Rated Media and PR Limited and proudly supported by Amala Eco Restaurant in Nairobi, Kenya and in the city of Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria.
Really nice. I take it on Arabam.
with our doctors, please. Montenma, all doctors attention if you need solution. Montana, yeah, Montana. Too much is given, much is asked.
Yes, it's still MMM, and we have with us today Dr. Hussein Abdul Razak, the Lagos State Viral Hepatitis Control Program Manager. He's talking to us about hepatitis. Yes, because it's World Hepatitis Day today. Like I said, you can be a part of this discussion. Do you have questions? Do you have concerns? He is the right person for you to talk to. Call us on 0906203907. 090620249007. He's here with us to answer all of your questions. Now, hepatitis-free future starts with awareness today. Prevention is key to a hepatitis-free world. Do you agree with that, Doctor?
Well, yes. It's actually one of the biggest issues with hepatitis is the lack of awareness.
Absolutely.
You'll be surprised, even among medical health workers, the awareness is low, and that's part of what we are trying to overcome with these various activities. I need to also say that viral hepatitis, we need to place its importance appropriately. According to World Health Organization, the Global Hepatitis Report last year, 2024, and they were looking at the figures for 2022. It's always got that collective for the whole globe, so it takes some time before reports come out. So they are looking at, based on 2022 figures, viral hepatitis and tuberculosis were the joint leading cause of death among infectious diseases. And that was in the disease that are due to an infection. That's about one organism coming from one person to another. Viral hepatitis and tuberculosis were the joint second leading causes. The first was COVID-19. So you can follow the logic that, well, now COVID-19 is almost such an issue. These two must have become, based on that logic alone, these two must have become the leading causes of death. We also know that over the years, the death rate due to tuberculosis has been falling, but that of viral hepatitis has been going up. And that's why it has become even much more of a concern now. It has been going up. We need to arrest it, and all we need to do is just to be aware of it, to have the tools we need to actually arrest it. That's why, so viral hepatitis has become much more important. I'm personally waiting for this year's report and to see state that, yes, it has become the leading cause of death. So sometimes people need to know that viral hepatitis is a leading cause of death. Is, unfortunately, if I may say, is a silent killer. Yeah. Because a lot of people have it and don't have it because they don't have symptoms. They are not sick in any form, but it is silently damaging the liver. So we need to place that information to people to let them see it that way, that look, this thing is important. I must do something about it. I don't have to wait till I become sick. By that time, it may already be too late. So I must go out and do something about it. I must take action. I must do something about it. So the awareness needs to be passed on from person to person. All the media we can use, let people know that viral hepatitis has become a big issue. We've been talking for a long time, actually. Very for a very long time. But now is the time that we need to see that, yes, we have been able to fight some of these diseases. Death rate are coming down, but that of viral hepatitis is still going up. So let us arrest it. And it's about me, it's about you. We don't until you know your status. You cannot know whether you are free of it or not. So we need to have that information out there for people to appreciate that viral hepatitis is such an important issue that we all need to address.
Yes, of course, there was also a report, from the coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammadu Pate, that said that the federal government has revealed that Nigeria loses between 13.3 trillion and 17.9 trillion naira annually in direct and indirect costs due to hepatitis.
Yes, I mean, just like any disease, it's not only about that person. There are so many things that are associated. People, once somebody falls sick, is not able to contribute to the economy. At that point in time, his concern is how to get well.
And that figure, isn't that so alarming?
It has to be alarming. It is alarming. And that's why we know something about it. The person that is going to take care of the person who is sick is also busy taking care of that person. Is not going to be able to go to his work. So if you put all this, that's direct and indirect, if you put all this together, there's so much that we are losing just because of this preventable disease. And these are the things that we need to just get into people's eyes. And we can do something about it. So let's do it. We can prevent viral hepatitis. We can stop it. And we should stop it. Like you said, we have a cure for hepatitis B. Hepatitis B, we will not have a cure for that. We have a vaccine for it. And that's the best way to prevent hepatitis B. So we have the tools that we can use, but we need to have the information and, more importantly, to take action about it.
Awareness is key. Now, apart from the pregnant women who wants to give birth and babies born within the first 24 hours of life, how can people get tested for hepatitis?
It's the same tools that we use to test the pregnant. We have made the pregnant women a routine one.
Yes.
There are certain diseases that we just must take care of as far as the pregnant women are concerned. There are things that over time we have identified. So each time they come to register for antenatal, like we say it, we test them routinely. Okay? But any other person can also walk into the hospital and say, I want to be tested for viral hepatitis. Usually hepatitis B and C. Okay, so you can just walk into your health facility and let them know that you want to get tested for hepatitis. That can be done. It's a rapid test kit that we do. It's not something that is highfalutin, and our health centers definitely they can do this test for them. Just what they do for the pregnant woman. It's the same kit. It's the same method. It's a simple a prick of the finger. We need a drop of blood, and then on the rapid test kit, maximum 15 minutes you have your result. So it's a very simple test to do, and then you are seeing the results immediately. More importantly is to take action once you get tested. So something that, yes, if I'm interested enough, I can walk into any health facility. Just go to where you normally go for health services and tell them, yes, I want to be tested for viral hepatitis. That test can be simply done.
Now, how often can one go for this test?
Well, we emphasize taking action after the test.
Okay.
If you go and get tested,
and it's negative,
it's either going to be negative or positive. If it is negative, you can get vaccinated.
Okay. For prevention.
Sorry?
For prevention.
Yeah, get vaccinated for prevention. You have been tested and you are negative. That means you are not having viral hepatitis at that point in time. Particularly for hepatitis B, which is a bigger problem. Which is the bigger problem? For Lagos, for instance, we have about 5% of prevalence. That is, 5% of our population, of our people, have hepatitis B, and 1% have hepatitis C. So there's a big difference between them. So the bigger problem for us is hepatitis B, and that is the one that we have vaccine for. So if you go and get tested, that means you are knowing your status. If you are negative, get vaccinated. And if you are positive, get treatment. Of course, those that are positive, there are different steps that we need to take.
Okay.
We want to be sure, for instance, that this person is not having acute infection. So usually we wait for like 6 months and do that person's test again. If it is still positive, then that person has chronic infection. Or if you're able to get that history from the person that, yes, oh, I tested last year, I was positive, I didn't do anything about it, but me has come again, I've been tested and I'm positive. Then we know that this person already infection that lasted more than 6 months. That person has chronic infection. We take steps to treat that person. But the person that is negative, get vaccinated. If you don't get vaccinated, that means next time you come around, we'll still test you again. But if you have been vaccinated, we know that for the next 10 years, some say even for the rest of the life, that person does not need to worry about hepatitis B again. But if after 10 years and we feel like we need to, there are tests that we can do to measure the level of immunity that this person has, and we can say whether you need to be vaccinated again or not. But that vaccine basically lasts for about 10 years. That means you don't have to worry about hepatitis B for the next 10 years once you get fully vaccinated. And emphasize fully, because the vaccination is to be full is 3 times. The person will get the vaccine. It's a small, simple injection on the upper arm. On the upper arm, and that is done. So the person has to take it 3 times. Fully vaccinated. We don't want to take 1 and stop. We don't want to take 2 and stop. We want to take all the 3 completely to be fully vaccinated. And then that person does not need to bother about hepatitis B for the next 10 years thereabouts.
Okay, a message just came in now. It says, what treatment options are available for hepatitis B and C?
Okay, like I said, hepatitis C is treatable. So there are drugs that we use and that person is cured. Of course, there are also monitoring tests that we need to do. Before we place you on treatment, there are tests that we need to do to assess the level of damage to the liver and things like that. And then the person gets treated for hepatitis C and can be completely cured. But for hepatitis B, there is no cure. So management is like for life. But there are drugs that we use and they monitor the person. You may be able to stop. Sometimes you can actually convert and become negative. So those are all monitoring things steps that as the person comes and we are saying and we are giving drugs, we are checking, we're able to take decisions. But you don't go to sleep as far as hepatitis B is concerned. Because we know that the virus has a way of hiding within the body that has made it able to avoid completely being cured. But for hepatitis C, we know that one has a cure.
Okay, another message we have says, is it free to go for the test, or do you have to pay?
It is not free all the time. It's about funding. So whenever funds are available, we offer free. But once one is not available, you actually need to pay. For me, I say yes. Those of us, or as many people as can pay, let them pay. And then those that cannot, we need to look for ways to ensure that there are free services. It is the reality is that it cannot be completely free all the time for everybody. It is expensive. It's not so expensive as to be out of the world. So yes, when it's free, we let you know and we offer it free. We're going to be giving some free during this commemoration week or month, whichever you want to call it. It's beyond today, like I said earlier. But when it's not available free, take responsibility for your health. Know your status. That's very important. Know your status and then you know what next to do. If you are negative for hepatitis B, get vaccinated. If you are positive, start getting treatment so that the sequelae, what we call the complications. But that is the thing. Chronic infection leads to these complications. The liver gets damaged. It's not going to be today. It's not going to be tomorrow. It can be a long time. The baby that gets infected, that gets the disease as a newborn, may not have the effect of the chronic infection until 20, 30, 40 years later. So the only way is know your status and start taking steps about it. Take responsibility for your health. If it's available free, good. If it's not available free, take responsibility and pay the little amount that needs to be paid so that you get your health. I always tell people, when you are talking about statistics in health, you say this is what this disease affects 1 out of 1,000,000 people. That one is somebody. And you don't want to be that person. So if there's something you can do about that disease, you can do it. Take responsibility for your health. We try as much as possible, whenever we have the means, something that we keep thinking about. Even the treatment, we work with companies, we work with partners to see how it can be subsidized. It becomes easier for people to be able to afford. That's what we can do, but it's not going to be available for every time. But when it's free, fine. If it's not free, take responsibility and spend money on your health.
Okay, sir, for the advantages of those that are just joining us, can we highlight the symptoms of both hepatitis B and C again? Because somebody just sent in a message now saying that what are the symptoms of hepatitis B and C?
You know, I always ask myself this question. Why do people want to know symptoms of a disease? They want to do the diagnosis themselves?
Well, maybe they just want to be sure that they are not having it.
That's it. Let us be very clear. You are not going to know your status of viral hepatitis until you get tested. But like I said, in the acute stage in particular, you have all the symptoms of I am not well. You have fever, you have joint pains, you have easy tiredness, body weakness, nausea. That's where you have a feeling like you are going to vomit. Actual vomiting.
Loss of appetite too.
But more specifically for hepatitis, which is inflammation of the liver, you have jaundice, which is yellowness of the eye. We all know yellow fever can cause jaundice, which is yellow eyes. That's not the only cause. Jaundice simply means that the liver is compromised. And one of the things that happens, that's, of course, when viral hepatitis, we're talking about inflammation of the liver. So the liver is compromised. So the person can have yellowness of the eyes, yellowness of the skin, and then the urine can be very dark. When you have this kind of thing, then you must think of viral hepatitis. So your best bet is to go see your doctor and get tested. That's the only way you are going to know that you actually have or you don't have viral hepatitis.
Thank you very much. We're going to go on another break. When we come back, we will continue with our questioning. So again, it's MMM with Doyin Kukoyin. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned and be blessed.
ìmọ́tótó ló lè ṣẹ́gun àrùn gbogbo. Ẹ̀fọn tó gbòòrò adùn lọ́wọ́ àwọn tó rẹ̀rọ. Kẹ́kùlẹ̀ gbọ́ kó sàbò tókò. Cleanliness is essential. Immortalize potential. On the sound of crimes are your initial.
Mọ́tótó bẹ̀rù àṣẹ ní ká àṣẹ tọ́jú. Àyíká làbóyún mẹ́rin lábóyún ẹ̀ fọwọ́ wọ́. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣètọ́jú àyíká làbóyún.
If you wanna live life, stay strong. Walk it out for anyone. Live life, stay strong. Walk it out for anyone. Live life, stay strong. Walk it out for anyone. Live life, stay strong. Walk it out for anyone.
With a veteran media personality and seasoned actress Doyin Kukoyi on Champion FM 90.7 every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6 p.m. for your perfect blend of inspiring messages, electrifying conversations from our seasoned guests, infectious beats and music from loaded playlist. Message music for motivation. Where motivation meets inspiration every single time. Join eloquent Doyin Kukoyi on this program every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6 p.m. on Champion FM 90.7. You can show that will ignite your life in a positive way. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok at MMM_234 to win some surprising, fantastic rewards. This program is a production of Force Rated Media and PR Limited and proudly supported by Amala Eco Restaurant in Nairobi, Kenya, and in the city of Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria.
Yes, welcome back. It's still MMM. We're coming to you live from Champion 90.7 FM. Don't forget, we do this every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. live. Yes, live. Okay, doctor, back to you, sir. Are there any lifestyle changes that can help manage hepatitis?
Okay, well, first is lifestyle changes that will prevent hepatitis. And I'll go first and foremost with the healthy habits, healthy living.
Yes.
Top on the list, of course, is hygiene.
Right.
That simple technology that we call hand washing is always patent. We always say prevention is better than cure. It is better, it is cheaper, it is easier. Wash your hands before meals. Wash your hands when you come out of the loo. Wash your hands before you prepare meals. Wash your hands before, excuse me. I said, okay, before taking care of babies, after taking care of babies, before preparing meals, before you eat, make sure you wash your hands. That's going to help a lot. Of course, you're also ensuring that you have good water, good food. All things that are done around safe hygiene will help to prevent hepatitis A and E. Yes, they don't cause chronic infection. They are not likely to cause liver damage that will lead to death, but they also cause illness. So let's prevent them too. For B, C, and D, let's prevent using all those means that we already know. Don't share sharps. Blood transfusion, of course, for Lagos is almost a non-issue now because the system has been put in place to ensure that every blood that's going to be transmitted, transfused to another person is very well tested. There are various quality assurance measures to ensure that, yes, you don't get transfusion through blood. So those measures are already there. So it is healthy living to prevent yourself getting infected in the first place. Once, and the next thing, of course, is to know your status. Once you know your status, you're either going to get vaccinated, get the vaccine. It's simple, it's an election, so I cannot say it's completely painless, but it's not going to stop anything you are going to do. You just take your injection and you continue with your life. Remember the next time and remember the third time. Get fully vaccinated. Okay, so you are being conscious about your health. And then, of course, for those who need to get treated, it's not easy. It's a chronic infection, so you are going to do what I call chronic things to get well. So, yes, listen to your doctor, listen to their advice, listen to their instructions, and make sure you follow them. Take your drugs as appropriate, okay? Get tested whenever you need to be tested. There are, like I said before, various steps, there are various procedures. Let your doctor guide you in managing yourself. So these are the key things. We are not going to have to eat any food. We are not going to ask you not to do certain things that you normally do. But the focus must be on, okay, so I have this issue now. What are the things I need to do to overcome them? Listen to your doctor and follow advice.
Listen to your doctor and follow the advice. Now let's go global, sir. How does hepatitis impact global health?
Okay, like I have mentioned before, hepatitis is logically poised to be the number one number one cause of death among infectious diseases. There are about 304 million people worldwide who have hepatitis. Chronic hepatitis B, you have about 254 million. And then for hepatitis C, it's about 50 million people who have chronic infection. The vast majority of them are not detected. They are not diagnosed. And what that means simply is that they're able to spread their infection. They don't know. You don't know. I don't know. The person has it and they're going about their normal life and they're spreading the infection. You can imagine why we have such large numbers of people being affected. Excuse me. And more importantly is that it is us here, also Sub-Saharan Africa and Asia, we are the ones that have about 80% of the problem. So it's another thing that it is our issue here. And that's why we have to address it. 80% of the world's burden of viral hepatitis can be found in Sub-Saharan Africa and parts of Asia. And better than our own country before that. Nigeria has about 8.5% of prevalence. That's about 8.5% of our people have hepatitis B. For Lagos, it is 5%. So we're actually lower than the national average. But those are significant. Once it's more above 2%, it is significant. So globally, you have people, so many people, as 4 million people that are carrying this infection. And you know what? It is 100 times easier to transmit hepatitis B from person to person than to transmit HIV.
Wow.
So it's so much easier to get infected. If the virus, if a drop of blood that has a virus is on my table now, I come back a week after, I have a wound and that blood gets into my skin, I can get viral hepatitis. That's kind of, for HIV, within a few hours, the virus is dead. But for hepatitis B, it lasts that long. So, once you are fully vaccinated, you are protected from hepatitis B. So, we need to have this understanding. This problem is all over the place. You don't know who has it, or you don't know who to avoid so as not to get it. The only way is to be conscious enough to say, okay, let me just know my test results. And if I don't have it now, let me never have it. And the way to do that is to go and get vaccinated, especially for hepatitis B. We don't have vaccines for C, we don't have for D, we don't have for E. We have for hepatitis A. There is vaccine for it. It's not commonly available in our environment here, but it's not even such a big problem for us. Our biggest problem is hepatitis B. And that is, like I said, worldwide, 254 million people have chronic hepatitis B infection. And 50 million have chronic hepatitis C infection. So it has, and that's why WHO can come out and say, look, we want to eliminate this disease by 2030. We want to ensure that it is no more a thing that will be of concern to us all by taking this step that we have mentioned. Hepatitis B in particular, get vaccinated and you are free of hepatitis B for the next 10 years to your lifetime.
Now, how can what are the challenges in eliminating hepatitis globally?
Number one, low awareness.
Low awareness.
People are just not aware. I feel. Will I want to say I feel ashamed? But I can say that even for me, I was not acutely aware of this issue until I came into the viral hepatitis control program.
Wow.
Okay, so that's the kind of thing that health workers, we don't know about a lot, and something that is there we have forgotten about. Maybe when we were in school we learned about it, but outside school we have forgotten about it. And it is there silently affecting people and leading to death. With chronic infection, initially the body fights back. And that's why it takes so long for it before you start having symptoms. The body is fighting back. The infection is there. The body is fighting back until the system is overwhelmed. Now you start having the symptoms because the liver is being damaged. And that damage, unfortunately, continues from stage by stage. Initial fibrosis, cirrhosis, and then can cause cancer. The leading cause of liver cancer in our environment is hepatitis B. Next is alcohol. Next is hepatitis C. So it is hepatitis that is the leading cause of liver cancer in our environment. And once you have liver cancer, you're talking about liver failure, and that is death. Okay, so we just must be aware that this thing is happening, this thing can happen, and the only way I can know what to do about it is take that first step, know my status, get tested, know where you are as far as viral hepatitis is concerned. Get tested, and if you are negative, get vaccinated. If you are positive, get treated.
Now, you spoke about involving the communities in the awareness program and all of that. How can communities and individuals raise awareness about hepatitis? Okay,
so the first step we are taking is, like I said, we are going to be having jingles on air. It's going to be in English, it's going to be in Yoruba, and it's going to be in Pidgin English. And we're going to run them in 2 radio stations and 1 television station for a period of at least 10 weeks. What we're planning is 3 jingles every day, 3 jingles in a day, 3 days a week for the next 10 weeks. So that is going to massively, radio and television, it's all over the place. Everybody is going to have it. And then we are going to be following up with what we have been doing, addressing communities and going into communities to create awareness, where we have the opportunity to do screening, we have the opportunity to do vaccination. So we want everybody to be part of it. If you want us to come to your place, we'll come. Don't send us a letter. We'll come and talk to you about hepatitis. We'll come to you and do screening. We'll come to you and do vaccination. This is what we're about. So apart from the general awareness creation through our jingles, we'll also go out to communities and sections, and this is our work. So something that we do all the time and we'll continue doing until this problem of viral hepatitis is resolved. Part of what we are also ensured is that in all, I speak for Lagos State, in all our general hospitals, we have personnel that have been trained to manage viral hepatitis. So wherever you are in Lagos State, just go to the general hospital, get tested, and if you need to be managed, can be managed there. It's something that the government has ensured now. So the services are all over like I said, all over Lagos State. You can get managed for viral hepatitis, get tested, get vaccinated in all these hospitals.
Thank you so very much, Doctor. Yes, we've been speaking with Dr. Hussein Abdul Razak, Lagos State Viral Hepatitis Control Program Manager, Lagos State Ministry of Health. It's been a very interesting and inspiring time with you, sir.
Thank you very much.
We really appreciate you and we wish you the very best, sir.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank you.
Before we go, I'd like to leave you with this message. Awareness, testing, treatment, the path to hepatitis elimination, and together we can conquer hepatitis. Let's go home with that. That is it on today's episode of Message Music for Motivation on Champion 90.7 FM. Thank you for tuning in. Join us same time on Wednesday for another inspiring conversations. Until then, a special thank you to the producer, Ade Obayinka. Becca is here, Esther is here, Manuel is here, Olamide is here, Michael is also in the studio. Thank you guys for being there. Thank you for working tirelessly to bring this program on. I remain yours sincerely, Ade Doyin Kukoyin. I'll see you again by God's grace on Wednesday. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Without doctor's prescription, on 10 man, doctor's attention.